Hello, everyone. This is Stephen Hernandez again, and this is going to be a marriage and relationship video. Haven't done one of those in a while, and as the American holidays are approaching, and as many people are perhaps dreading a conversation with their friends and family about their relationship status, I thought it would be a great time to talk about what I call missionary dating. This is a term that I had learned years and years and years ago when I was doing a marriage and relationship workshop, and it happened to be at a church, I believe. And this is something I think many people will, when I explain what it is, will make sense to them. Missionary dating is that specific kind of person, that behavior pattern that people get into, and not necessarily about dating per se. Like, I don't want to get hung up on that particular term. But what it means is that you seek out fixer-uppers. You find people, and you see the best in them. You see the potential there, but perhaps only you see it. And you see someone who could maybe sort of one day be what you want and what you need. And you're going to throw yourself at them. And you're going to do all the emotional, sometimes physical, all kinds of labor to make them be what you know they can be or what you see they can be. And this is more often than not, it's been my experience that it's women that get into this habit, into this behavior. And all joking aside, it can become very dangerous and opens the doors to many bad things, unfortunately. Why it's called missionary dating, or dating fixer-uppers, is it because it involves two people usually, and one person sees an opportunity to save the other person. Perhaps they are dealing with addiction. Perhaps they are unhappy in their life. Perhaps they're in a depressive episode, or what have you. And again, not knocking anyone who's in those situations, but you're in a position where you're very high up, if you will, in terms of where you see yourself or where you might be, and you are trying to bring up the other person in all kinds of different ways. So that could be like you are gainfully employed, you're very financially sound, so you meet someone and you feel that they could be an artist, performer, they could be successful at a business, and you give them a lot of money, you give them a lot of resources. Notice the term I'm using here, you are the engine, you're the one who's driving these kinds of things. And perhaps in a way that they can't or won't do for themselves. And that's the important qualifier. And again, it can be all kinds of different things. It can be someone who you see, perhaps you're very active in your faith, okay, whatever that faith may be. That's where, like I said, I heard the term first in the church. And let's say you meet someone who you may be very physically or spiritually attracted to someone, but they don't practice the faith that you hold very strongly to your heart. But you want to save them. This is missionary dating, right? So you start bringing them to the church, to the mosque, to the synagogue. And you're trying to, encourage them to adopt a lifestyle that you feel very strongly about. And again, notice that term again, you are driving this. And the big problem, the danger, the risk to the heart, mind, and soul, and the body of someone who engages in this is that it means, especially if you're doing more than 50%, 75 to 100% of the emotional and otherwise labor in the relationship, what that means is that you can't ever have a bad day. You understand what I'm saying? If the person that you're with is always down, is always sad, is always disengaged, is always a dollar short, is not happy in their life, is not happy in their career, is not happy, and you're always the one who's doing that, is bringing the energy up, suggesting ideas, covering the costs, hustling out there, whatever it may be, and they're not doing that, you are enabling a situation where you are doing that 100% of the time. And that means you can't ever have a bad day. What that means is that you can't be sad. You can't be tired. You can't be sick, because you're providing a situation where people who do have codependent or even abusive tendencies can take advantage of that situation. Often you'll get in situations where perhaps the sexual aspect of the relationship will start very early on, because there might be a really strong attraction there for whatever reason. But then as their life starts to change, perhaps they do start to make moves, you know, perhaps there becomes an imbalance in the relationship. It becomes that they feel that they evolve past you. And so many people have been hurt by this. Maybe they did nothing with their business for years and years and years. Then you open up your black book. You make connections for them. You gave them that startup money. You worked nights there when they couldn't hire someone, so you worked for free. You did their books, whatever it may be. And then they start to get some traction. Then they start to have some success. Well, then all of a sudden, they feel like they don't need you. And then you're left alone. You're left hurt. You're left confused. Well, why are they not grateful to me? And I believe it's because you oftentimes in these situations, you're setting up a situation where there's an imbalance. You're kind of handing out everything to them. And that could be mental labor, that could be sexual activity, that can be emotional labor, as I said, that can be financial. And a term that you're going to start hearing me use all the time is sliding versus deciding, right? When you're in a situation where you're sliding versus deciding, if someone really wants to build their business and you see them doing that work and they're not having success, but they're out there all the time, they're working it, they're making phone calls, they're trying to get investors, they're working on their business plan. That's different than someone who's just talking a lot about their business, talking about this dream that they have, etc. So when you're in a situation like that, you're putting yourself on the line. You're putting your heart on the line. You're putting your soul on the line. You're putting your body on the line, because you are essentially setting up the idea that, don't worry, you might be at 45%, you might be at 50% of what I want you to be right now. But that's okay, because I believe that you will be where I want you to be at some indeterminate point in the future. Right? This is the whole sliding versus deciding thing. That you're essentially writing them a blank check to be who they are for as long as they want to, in the hope that someday they will be the person you need or you want them to be. So that's really kind of unfair actually to both of you. But I think it should go without saying that it's a very dangerous situation to be in. So a couple things just to check yourself and to really look out for if you are in these situations. First and foremost, are you in a relationship with someone where you feel like you're compromising significant, important things for yourself? For example, if it's very important for you that you share bills, you have a co-equal spending plan or what have you, but you're with someone who can't or won't shoulder an equal to you financial burden, that's a red flag. If you feel you're doing all the emotional labor and they can't or won't reciprocate the same to you when you need it, that's a red flag. If you feel that you can't be open with yourself, with your feelings, with your thoughts and dreams, your fears and anxieties, because you're afraid of offending them or driving them away, that's a red flag that you might be in a missionary dating relationship or an unequal emotional relationship. If you find that you are investing a lot of time, money, and effort into their dreams, but they refuse, they can't or won't do the same for you, that's another red flag that you're in one of these situations. It's been my experience that if you've done this one or two times, you've probably done it much more often, not just with your romantic partners, but perhaps with your friends or even your family members as well. There's often a pattern there. Spoiler alert, usually it means that you're a wonderful, wonderful person. You have a giving spirit, you want to help people, you see the best in people. That's a wonderful thing, but people can and will take advantage of that, and you must be careful about it. So I highly recommend that you guard your heart, that you understand that you really should be looking for someone who is very close to where you want them to be, or they are where you want them to be, and you see them moving in that direction. I know this may not be easy to hear. I'm sorry if this has happened to you. I'm sorry if you've been hurt before. I caution you to not do this so you're not hurt again. I hope this has been helpful to you. Please let me know if this is something you've experienced, if you've seen someone do this yourself. If you have gotten into this pattern before, please comment below. How do you avoid that? How do you catch yourself from doing that again? Because it's a pattern that's very easy to fall into. As always, this is Stephen Hernandez with Stephen Hernandez's Nonprofit Fundamentals. This is a relationship video. So if you like this, please subscribe to my channel. You can click the button right there and subscribe. I also have linked the playlist to all my other relationship and marriage videos, so you can check that out as well. Or you can check my other playlist where I have videos about nonprofits, how to raise money, how to manage your board. This is a real passion project of mine. I hope this video has been helpful to you. It may be hurtful to you. It may be kind of eye-opening for you. I hope that was the case. Thank you all. I hope this video was of help. If you know someone who does this, feel free to share this video to them. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I'm Stephen Hernandez. Thank you again.